right. Excuse me. We are live. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with an unusual stream as I have the day off. I took the day off so I could drop one of my cars off. I have to drop my car off at the Acura dealer. There's a safety recall on this car. Due to the passenger airbag. I guess over time, the materials within the airbag can cause a buildup in pressure on the airbag, which could cause it to deploy and basically explode metal fragments into the passenger's face. So, gotta get that taken care of. So, and with all the hours that I've been working, I've been working 10-hour shifts and been working Saturdays, and this has been going on for a few months. So I've been absolutely exhausted, and haven't really found the time to take the car to the shop. And not only that, making arrangements to get back home. I thought it was going to be a situation where I have to drop the car off and find my own way home, meaning Uber or something like that. But after taking the time to read the safety recall notice, they will provide me with a rental, which is no big deal because I have two cars. I just need a way out of there. But if they're going to give me a rental, then I'll take it. Then I can, leave my Lexus parked. So, but I think before, from what I've been noticing with YouTube, it seems like it's taken a while for these notifications to get out. So because of that, I'm not going to dive immediately into the subject because I think this is definitely an interesting subject, and I think this is what's the DJ? What's up? I think the implications of what we're talking about right here could implicate a seismic shift in the VR landscape. So I don't want to talk about it immediately because I don't want people who come in late to come in the middle or on the tail end of what I'm talking about, and then I kind of have to re-explain myself again. So I want to take a couple of minutes and just talk about some off-the-wall stuff while we give a couple of people, a few minutes to file in here. I know I don't have a very big audience when I go live, but the people that do come, they are either hardcore VR or they just like my delivery. So I do appreciate the hardcore people that pop in here. I do realize one of my friends, BitCloud Gaming, he's live right now. But truth be told, I think him being live probably wouldn't have that much of a bearing on my podcast, because with me being full-blown VR, pretty much everybody that comes into my podcast is is passionate about VR. JD Max, you said, okay, Lincoln, pray for me, dude. Sitting at the doc's office. What's the matter, man? Do you think the Quest will bring out another model like a Pro version? I definitely think Oculus will. I mean, with the kind of like, to me, what happened today was kind of like a bomb being dropped as far as VR goes. I mean, I knew we would eventually get to this moment, but it still feels weird that moment is like right around the corner. One thing about VR, the technology moves so fast. I mean, where are we at now? 2020? Wasn't it like 4 years ago when the Oculus Rift, when it first launched, it launched with no controllers and you had to use, Xbox type controllers? Get to the chopper. He said, this is not VR paradise. I'm disappointed. Sorry, my guy. Curiosity killed the cat on that one because that's really the first time that I saw adult games being advertised on a platform. You know, you might see pop-ups, you know, when you surf in the web, you might see some pop-ups for adult games, but you know, so to tell that story again, Mr. 4K Upscaler, I'm putting that on him. He was playing VR Paradise, and at the time that he was playing it, it was a free game. So I was like, you know, it couldn't hurt to take a look at it. It's not free anymore. I'm wondering if a bunch of people picked the game up and then they all of a sudden decided to start charging for it. But at the time that I downloaded it, it was free. You say, yeah, I think they've been on PC forever, being a console gamer. I never seen them before. Yes, I mean, I've never seen a platform advertise adult games. I mean, on consoles, the most, you know, you're not going to get any nudity on consoles. You know, you might get reference to nudity in adult themed games. You might get some cleavage from these Dead or Alive games, but, you know, no full blown nudity. And so when Mr. 4K Upscaler, he streamed this game, and I'm like, are you serious? And so I went to Steam and I checked out the game, and then when I checked out the game, it listed a bunch of other adult themed games. And you know, I'm on my own channel now, so I can be a little more blunt about the shit that I saw. I mean, I saw, you know, there was games that have full blown fucking in it. They have, you know, full blown sex in it. You know, women getting thrown up on the table, getting penetrated. I was like, I could not believe my eyes. And it wasn't a situation where the sexual parts were blurred out. You know, it was like, you seen that rod going in there. So, oh, JD Maxx, you going in for the snip snip? I hate to say it, JD Maxx, here in America, that's one of the smartest moves you can do. Because I hate to say it, here in America, having a baby with the wrong woman will destroy your life. Your life will be destroyed. So here in America, if you decide to have a child, you better feel 100%, you know, throughout your heart that that's the person that you believe you're going to spend the rest of your life with, that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or else going to be a lifetime of nightmares. So, but getting back to that VR Paradise thing, yeah, I could not believe what I saw. It was like all the adult games that was there in virtual reality. I thought I was on a porn site. You know, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I took a look at it, and I went into the game. You're inside a strip club. There's a couple of poles, and there's always two women dancing at once, and they are topless. They do, you know, take the tops off, so you do see the boobs in virtual reality. They do dance, you know, up and down the poles and all that kind of stuff. And you're sitting in these lounges, and while you're sitting in these lounges, there are other strippers that will walk up to you and ask you if you want a private dance, and if you say yes, you go into this private room, and she'll start the dance for you. But before it starts to get a little more erotic, then the screen starts to white out, and then you have to pay real money in order for the private dance to continue. But that was the only time I ever went into that game, so I don't know what the situation is now that they're charging for the game. I don't know if they made any kind of updates to the game, but yeah, that's funny. So yeah, when Gamertag brought that up, he was trying not to put me out in the street, because when your friends on Steam, you can see what games your friends own. So at some point, they must have stumbled across this game and saw that I owned the game, so because it was free, or that I played the game. So so when he brought it up, yeah, I mean, yeah, I assume he was referring to me, but he was trying not to put me out in the street. But I wasn't embarrassed by it, because it was a free game that I was just taking a look at. So it'd be one thing if I was in a corner, with a blanket over me with no clothes on, then something's wrong. But anybody, but we're all adults here, so anybody acting like they never seen any nudity, any sex, any adult movies, come on, stop it. Stop acting all pure as the drifting snow. I'm not hearing that shit. Uh, get to the chopper. VR Paradise on Quest with hand tracking. Wife walks in. There is no explaining this. Well, I'm not married, so I don't have anyone to answer to in that aspect. So I can do what I want. Uh, Not that you're not. I'm not calling out your wife. Get to the chopper, but I would be led. I'm willing to bet you there are some women that wouldn't be as disgusted by this as they would, try to that they would try to act because throughout my years I've been with more women than I can count throughout the years, and yes, there was a few women that I went to their place, and a lot of foreplay and shit like that, and then out of the blue they go into the closet and grab a VHS tape, pop it into the VCR, and they got movies. So a lot of them just keep that shit in the closet, but don't believe for 1 minute there's a lot of women that's just like disgusted by the thought of seeing sex. I'm not really hearing that. I'm not throwing your wife in that category, but I'm just saying that uh, you know, uh, if a woman that I don't know walks up to me and act like they would be disgusted by that, I'm just gonna look at them like, yeah, whatever. Shit. As a matter of fact, the last girl that I was in a relationship with, last summer when I was in a relationship with this chick, she turned out to be freakier than I thought. uh, Give me a second to tweet this out. Let me tweet this out on Twitter. Give me a second. She turned out to be freakier than I thought. So just ignore the replay you hear. Share. Let's go to tweet. Because my Twitter is linked to this OBS, but I don't like the way they tweet it out. It's almost like you have to go through OBS to watch it. I just rather send a direct link so they can just come straight to YouTube and watch it. DJ, you said women are worse than guys, or at least the ones I work with. I mean, when it comes to that kind of shit, and they try to act all pure as the drifting snow on the outside, that saying, a woman in the streets, but what is it? I need a lady in the streets, but the freak in the bed. Whatever that line was. But yeah, definitely when it comes to that kind of shit, I'm definitely a firm believer of the saying that the brighter the picture, the darker the negative. So don't be fooled by people acting all righteous and shit. So, I mean, there's full blown 360-degree porn out there, and like of all people, I never knew that shit existed until of all people, PSVR Frank put that out there. Um, like truth be told, I call myself the Godfather of gaming, but I think that title, if he really wanted to take it, PSVR Frank, I think he's the one that could call himself the Godfather of VR, because I think he was a big part of helping to spread the word about the PlayStation VR. This man supported PlayStation VR from the word go, and it was him. It was through Frank that I gained a lot of information about VR. It was through Frank that I learned about a lot of the apps. Like some of the apps. I think like maybe Next VR, whatever the case may be. But it was because of him that I started like diving into the apps on the PlayStation and just trying to find out just how much material you have access to, whether it be dirty or clean. And people have no idea just how much material is out there in VR. Yeah, I missed the Frank channel too. I mean, when he became community manager of First Contact Entertainment, the first thing hit my head is that we're not gonna see any more PSVR Frank anymore. You see, get to the chopper. You said not everyone likes his persona, but it was different, and he puts tons of info out there. Clickbait for sure, but he wanted to make money and get into gaming as a job. So fair does. But even if he was in it for the money, he was still, and to me, he was still instrumental in the growth of PlayStation VR, because now it's a different story. But maybe last year, if you got into PlayStation VR, you really couldn't say PlayStation VR without thinking about Frank, because he was one of the guys that got us. He's one of the guys that got VR where it's at, and he's one of the reasons why I stayed in VR, because as I told this story a million times, I bought the PlayStation VR for my son for Christmas. He took it home, and then he brought it back because his bedroom at the time was too small. So he kept it over here, and then he didn't really play it anymore. So my initial reaction was that I was going to sell it. And then I thought to myself, let me give it a try and not let $500 go down the drain. So I started playing it, and I was getting motion sick from games like Riggs, Drive Club VR, Resident Evil, Batman Arkham, because of the teleportation. I had never played a game where teleportation was the method of travel. All this was new to me. So all that stuff was making me sick, and I was getting ready to sell it. And two things made me not sell it. One was I stumbled across a video. I can't remember who it was, but they said if you drink ginger ale, that will, alleviate motion sickness, and it does. It worked. That, and then seeing Frank saying, hey, the media doesn't want this to succeed. They're trying to shoot it down. They're trying to use the motion sickness card as a reason for saying people won't buy this, shouldn't buy this, and the lack of games and stuff. And Frank was like, be patient. The games are going to come. I promise you. And I stuck it out. And the more I got into it, and the more I gave it a chance, the more I got into it, until we at the point now you couldn't get me off of VR. I mean, the only way that I wouldn't play VR anymore is if I lost my eyesight. Let's see. You said, I respect him for the grind. I don't begrudge people for wanting to make money through YouTube. He worked hard for it. And then DJ, you said, I think YouTubers are awesome and would only purchase a game on your advice. Think I don't like PSVR Parole begging for donations for food. I did watch them for a minute, but I don't. I don't anymore. What's up, Cold Yogurt? I'm not gonna lie, I don't. At the time, I'm still subscribed to the channel, but at the time that I was subscribed to their channel, I was just subscribing to anybody who was pushing the PlayStation VR. So I had subscribed to PSVR Without Parole. There's another guy, I think he's German. He's a black dude, but he's German. I think his name is Mitsuons. He's a black dude, usually has an afro. I subscribed to him. I mean, last time I saw one of his videos, he had about 10,000 subscribers. He was a big promoter of PlayStation VR. And I mean, he had gotten big enough that he had gone to some events to try out, some of the new games that was coming to PlayStation VR. So he was another guy that I followed, but then he started getting away from PlayStation VR and started getting caught up in this Mortal Kombat shit. Excuse me. And he started showing more and more Mortal Kombat videos and wasn't really showing PSVR videos. So I think I had unsubscribed to him and stopped watching. And get to the chopper. You said, I rarely watch Parole. I used to for info, but now I kind of don't need them for info as I'm entrenched in it. Yeah, exactly. That was part of the reason why I signed up to him, because I was trying to sign up to as many YouTube channels connected to PlayStation VR, so I could always try to gain information that I didn't know about. Because since I was new to it and they were entrenched in it, I figured that some people like them was my first sources of information. But as time went on, I started, signing up for more people. I subscribed to Polish Paul. Same thing. Same thing with Polish Paul. I think I like his content, and but now that I'm into PC VR, his videos, when he talks about new games coming to PlayStation VR, a lot of them are games that's already on PC. And then to make it even more fucked up is that when he talks about these games coming to PlayStation VR, a lot of times there's no concrete date. So some of the games that he's talked about that's supposed to come to PlayStation VR, in some cases here it is a year later, and they haven't come yet. I mean, it looks to me like this situation, like Zero Caliber, for instance. Polish Ball's been talking about that for quite a while, about that game coming to PlayStation VR. It is going to happen, but it's taking a lot longer than I thought, because it looks like we're not going to get it until around April. The only good thing I can say about it is when we do get it, the player versus player will be live. So I do have it on PC. And boy, all I can say about Zero Caliber, good luck getting those sniper rifles to work, because they couldn't make that shit work on Bravo Team. So in my opinion, good luck trying to get those snipers to work on the PlayStation VR, because I'm led to believe that something about the PlayStation makes it difficult for sniper rifles to work on first-person shooter games, because simply put, the zoom in didn't work on Bravo Team. When I tried to zoom in, as soon as that scope zoomed in, I got a still photo in the game, and then that was it. Whereas games like Farpoint, that sniper rifle on Farpoint, the scope on there doesn't zoom in. You just have the reticle in the middle. But like on PC, scopes do work. Games like Contractors, Zero Caliber, I believe Onward, Pavlov, all those games that have scopes, have sniper rifles, the scopes work. The zoom in works. So when I talked to Gamertag, after learning that Sniper Elite was coming to the PlayStation VR, one of the first thing came to my head was, does the scope work? Does the zoom in work? And he said yes. And I'm like, I don't know how the hell they got that to work, but even though I saw that video, I'll believe it when I see it, in terms of it working flawlessly. And if they can pull this off with Zero Caliber and get those scopes to work the same way they do on PC, hats off to them. What's up, Mick? Supposed to catch up. Hey, how you doing? I think we got enough people here that I can probably get ready to get into the subject here, but let me read a couple of more comments, and then I think we can get into the subject of why we're here. I've been on for about a half an hour, so anybody who plans on being here already is here. Let me see here. You said get to the chopper. Polish makes me laugh so much, man. And then you also said, but yeah, we're just getting old PC ports a lot of the times. You got Cold Yogurt, my man. And what else? VR Rim, I like as a dude, but he has too much textile spin to his videos, and I'm instantly put off too much by. Yeah, see, I mean, we were talking about that off camera on the VR Leak. And I think that's one of the things that makes our show so great is that yes, we do cover the latest news over the past week, and Gamertag does show trailers of games that's going to be coming out, but we give our opinion on the game. It's not tech talk. And so you have YouTubers out there like Tyrell Wood. He's tech. It's like everything he talks about is tech. And that's not a bad thing, but I would like to see a podcast where he gives his opinion. Like, this is the direction that the industry is headed in. This is what I think is going to happen. Even if what he says might sound ridiculous, I want to hear an opinion, because I've said that before. I like speculation, and I like opinion, even if it sounds absurd. Cass and Cherry, I like them, but they're tech too, And going back to using Tyrell Wood for an example, it's like a lot of his videos, he'll talk about a new headset that he might have just tried and talk about the specs and the resolution and that kind of stuff. If I talk about a new headset, I'm not gonna get too much into specs and all that kind of shit. I'm just gonna simply tell you it either looks good or it don't, and then I would buy this or I wouldn't. There's a lot of opinionated stuff. All right, you got to take off, Chopper? All right, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Nah, let me see, Salsa. You said Sniper Elite on PSVR. The scope does work, and it works really well with the aim. Okay. I mean, I'll take you at your word, and it's probably a game that I'll go ahead and take a chance on. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to VR, I'd probably say sim racings and first-person shooters are my first love. I mean, I love those two genres enough that I could get by on just those, pizza and burgers. Sim racing and first-person shooters are the equivalent of burgers and pizza to me. I can live off those. What's the latest on my PC repair, Mick? Let's have a look. Because it did make it to the facility and it was checked in. So, they're supposed to text me updates, but I haven't been getting them. I've always been having to check on them. So, let me check. So, give me a second here. Oh, shit. All right, I got to call them after this is over. So hold on a second. Just a second, because there is an update here. So actually, thanks for that reminder, Mick. So it says as of today. Today is the 6th. Today is the 6th. It says, we've determined that a part inside your device needs to be replaced. Call the service center at blah, 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 blah to discuss your device. And it says, we've requested a part for your repair. Good news, it's in stock. That is actually bad news. So at the conclusion of this podcast, I will call them. Because what I'm hoping for is they'll give me an option and say, if you don't want it repaired, we'll just refund you the money. Because my PC has an i5 in it, and I want to upgrade to an i7. And there's an Alienware Aurora R9. Mine is an R8, and that has an i7 90, I think 9700 in it or something like that, 8-core. And I'm not a genius when it comes to computers, but hey, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to know that that an i7 is better than an i5. So, and Sosa, you says a lot. I think a lot of people are going to love Sniper Elite. after the bit of time I spent on it. Um, I, I would hope that the icing on the cake for a game like that is for it to have multiplayer. And so when I learned Sniper Elite was coming to PlayStation VR, there was no mention of a multiplayer. So I've already got it stuck in my head that it's not going to be multiplayer. So it's a situation where if I buy that game, I pretty much have to have my mind made up that I'm going to do my damnedest to finish it. Because a game like I don't know, a game with both a campaign and a multiplayer, if you don't get back to the campaign, it's always easy to go into the multiplayer. So it would be nice if they eventually do have multiplayer on it. But if this game, if Sniper Elite were to come a game that I think would wind up on Steam, I know I don't think it would wind up on Steam, but if it did, I think they could implement multiplayer because, like, take Raw Data for instance. There's no multiplayer on the PSVR version of it, but there's a multiplayer on the PC version. There has to be a reason for that. So I'm not going to get into why or why not. But all I can say is there's a reason for that. DJ, you said my most anticipated game at the moment is Saints and Sinners. I think it's going to be awesome. You talking about the Walking Dead game? Yeah, that looks graphic. So I'm not. I think there's a trillion zombie games out there, but that does look interesting. I've never seen any of the Walking Dead, so I hope it's a situation where, I hope it's not a situation where I need to be privy to Walking Dead canon. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping it's a game that I can just jump right into and play, and not be lost because I don't understand who this character is. I got to go back and watch the show and get do some research on him. So, but let's get to why we're here, and that is. On the left, you see the Oculus Quest, and on the right, this is the Peco Neo. I think this thing, I guess it was, I don't know if it was revealed or talked about at CES last year, whatever the case may be. And I think it was probably revealed a little bit more at CES today. This is supposed to be, to me, this is the hybrid that I thought we were going to see. I believed that we were eventually going to get to this point where apparently this is a standalone VR headset, but it can wirelessly connect to a PC and become a PC headset. And I guess it has this Qualcomm Snapdragon processor that I had been talking about, which originally originated from Anthony of VR365, Fatal Mephisto, the Canadian grizzly bear. How you doing, my friend? So I guess the processor in this headset, along with the processor in your PC, will work together to give you optimal performance. And I guess in the article that I read, people who have tried it said that the wireless performance of this headset when connected to a PC is almost indistinguishable from a wire connection. So, and I tweeted this, and when Anthony of VR365 first started talking about this, it went in one ear and out the other. But then when I saw this and I read the article, because I read the article twice to make sure I understand it, and I'm paraphrasing and going off the top of my head, but I guess this, I thought this headset, I guess it's basically for enterprises. At least that's the way they're starting out with it. That's the way it sounds. But you can't tell me that people aren't going to try to use this headset for gaming, because look at the HP Reverb. From what I understand about the HP Reverb, it was designed primarily for businesses. But is being used as a gaming headset as well. Cold Yogurt, you said Viport is the Game Pass for VR, right, Link? Yeah. I I think they have a 1 year membership that I think costs $100 or something like that. And you have access to hundreds or even thousands of games. Salsa Ketchup, you said, I've got to go as work is done. But as a discussion point, what do you think will be a bigger thing from the Pico, the magnetic tracking based controls or the eye tracking? I tell you the truth, Salsa, you would be a better person to ask that because you know way more about the technical side of this stuff than I do. The only thing I can do is give you my opinions of how I think this will impact the industry because I think we could be staring at a potential Quest killer if this, with this being a standalone headset that you can take with you anywhere and then wirelessly connected to a PC. If you can get games to perform on this, yeah, we're looking at a Quest killer. So that's the implications that I think it has, and it seems to be reasonably priced. They have the Peco Neo 2 standard, which is $700, and I think they have the Peco Neo 2i, which implements eye tracking, which is $850. And whether I would purchase this or not all depends on the standalone part. If we get, if the standalone part were to perform better than the Quest and games were to look better than the Quest, then I'll buy it. And I guess it's set to launch this year. So let me pull up this article and read it. And Fedo Mephisto, it's great to hear that you are doing great, sir. And Salsa Ketchup, you said you gotta go as work is done. If you still got some loose ends to tie up, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. So let me go to Twitter and pull this up. All right, I gotta change glasses for this because I don't want to. All right. Pico's development of a completely wireless VR headset for PCs wasn't exactly a secret. Qualcomm used prototypes to demonstrate its Boundless XR initiative in September and December of 2019, but it turns out the company still has some surprises left to reveal. Today, it formally announced two separate Neo 2 family headsets, Peco Neo 2 Standard and Neo 2i, the latter incorporating Tobii's eye tracking technology. And I guess this is a Chinese company designed primarily for enterprise customers. Both of the headsets are based on the same basic platform, Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset coupled with Wi-Fi 5. At the last minute, Pico opted to leave out the 60 gigahertz millimeter wave frequency technology that's similar to optional add-ons that have been offered for select HTC Vive and Oculus VR headsets and was expected to be incorporated directly into these goggles for the first time. You said Cold Yogurt. I heard that Valve Index is next generation. Technology with VR is moving so fast. Because after I get done reading this article, I'm going to go back to something that I said that I think is relevant to this Pico 2 thing. In hands-on testing of a prototype Neo 2 late last year, we found that the wireless 60 gigahertz performance with a nearby PC was basically indistinguishable from a wired connection. Boundless XR technology enables the headset and PC to share real-time processing responsibilities, delivering a responsive, low-latency viewing and listening experience. But your results may vary depending on specific application, PC, and Wi-Fi 5 network. Let's see. Each of the Neo 2 headsets delivers 4K display resolution with a 101 degree field of view and 75 frame per second refresh rate. Now, that 101 field of view, that is something I'm not exactly crazy about. But I don't think I don't think the Quest or the Rift S is much better. So, um, each of the Neo 2 headsets delivers for. Oh, I already went by that. By 2020 standards, that is solid rather than breakthrough performance. Bluetooth 5.0 enables connectivity to two 6DOF electromagnet controllers, each with an undercarriage trigger button not shown in the photo. A counterweight battery provides power for the headset to operate in either PC or standalone mode. So I don't know. It sounds like I think with cold yogurt, Salsa Ketchup was asking me. Hold on, you still here, Salsa? Let me see what you just said before I go any further. You said it's enterprise only, and I thought the latest was that it didn't connect to PC. I need to read up, but take care. Yep, no doubt. You know, Anthony of VR365 said it's coming. You know, because of this Qualcomm chipset, that five companies are supposed to be jumping on board with this and making their own standalone VR headset. So Quest competitors are on the way. The storm is coming. Gamertag VR, what is going on? I'm glad you are in here. I tried to contact you on Facebook. I found your profile on Facebook, and I tried to send you a message directly through the instant messenger to send me a friend request, and then I would send you an invite to the Oculus Quest group. But the group, I don't understand why you can't find it. The group is simply called Oculus Quest, and at the moment, I stand corrected. I thought it had 34,000 members, but it actually has 19,000. But nonetheless, there is just constant posts on there, and most of them are really enjoyable, of people who just got their Quest and talk about how amazed they are by it. And it's also a lot of people uploading videos of family and friends trying out Quest for the first time. So I thoroughly enjoy checking out the post on the Oculus Quest post, and it's to me it's one of the few positive things about Facebook. Hey, thanks a lot, Gamertag. You said Lincoln is correct. We're looking at the start of the mobile VR headsets. You know, and I mean, Anthony of VR365, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the information was out there, because at the time that he was talking about it, I've seen a couple of articles, you know, Qualcomm this and whatever, and next VR technology and all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't reading it because I really didn't care about it, because I only cared about what impacted us at the moment. But then when I watched his show and he was talking about how 5 companies are supposed to be you know, making their own standalone VR headsets, with one coming out as early as 2020, and I don't know if this is supposed to be it. This Peco, I don't know if that's supposed to be it, but it is for enterprise only. But like the HP Reverb, you know good and well somebody's gonna buy this and try gaming on it. And if the performance is the standalone part, in my opinion, if the performance is comparable to the Quest, if not better, then you're looking at a potential threat to the Oculus Quest. You said the after party. All right, Gamertag. And DJ, you said, I love watching first VR impressions. Never gets old. It's I love it. Can you recommend cold yogurt, Salsa, and DJ for Maz? Absolutely. He gets a wrench. Cold yogurt gets a wrench, and Salsa gets a wrench. All right. I mean, these wrenches are more or less token. I would ask that if a troll comes in there, if they come in there with some blatant racist shit, then get rid of them. But if they come in with something that might be a little bit opinionated, and it, you know, I don't have a problem with somebody disagreeing with my opinions, but if they're giving what appears to be their opinions, you know, let them go ahead and do it until it becomes very obvious that they're trolling. Once it becomes obvious that they're trolling, get them out of here. You said a wrench justice force. The super friends. The super wrench friends. There we go. So let's continue about this Peco Neo 2 headset. And it did. Let's see here. Let me see. Few non-tethered headsets offer this level of visual quality, design, and support, said Peco CEO Henry Zhao. With the launch of the Neo 2, we are giving businesses around the world the opportunity to elevate the way in which they operate. From training to providing unique experiences through VR, the company expects Neo 2 will be used for in-flight entertainment, pain management in hospitals, and a wide variety of other applications. Let me skip. Let me go ahead and maybe I need to go ahead and read this too. For many of these use cases, Neo 2 will operate in a standalone mode, which relies fully on Snapdragon 845 processing, backed by 128 gigabytes of onboard storage and an SD card. That is big right there, the SD card, because the Quest needs that. Which I don't know if that was a deliberate move, that if you decide you need more space, that you need to try to upgrade to the 128 gig Quest. I don't know if that was a deliberate move by Oculus, or if it was just a situation where it would have cost more to put something like that into the headset. You say, can I just say you are also looking at huge impact that the Oculus Quest has made on leaking? Yeah. I mean, the whole premise of this article, to me, is to point out that right now, the Oculus Quest is the king of the standalone VR headsets right now. It is their title to lose, but they are not, in my opinion, not cashing in. They're not maximizing sales potentials because of these shortages, and I believe that because of this article that I'm reading, more standalone headsets are on the way. So, Oculus Quest time as being the only sheriff in town is limited. The storm is coming. There's going to be more standalone headsets on the way. And when we get to a point where 2-3 years from now, we got about anywhere from 5 to 10 VR headsets standalone to choose from, it's going to be a jungle out there. I mean, as the consumer, we probably win because they're going to be fighting for our dollars. But for these companies, I don't know, a couple of these companies might end up folding up because it might be so damn vicious out there. But my point is, right now, the landscape belongs to the Oculus Quest, and they need to take advantage of this shit right now. And that was part of the podcast that I had yesterday, asking how in the hell did Oculus let this happen for Christmas, where they was short on supply for the Christmas rush. I said this yesterday in my podcast. They are well aware of what us YouTubers are saying, because they feature YouTubers on the Oculus app. YouTubers such as BMF, Mike of Virtual Reality Oasis, Nathy, big YouTubers. They feature their reviews on the Oculus app, and they also advertise these YouTubers whenever they stream on big screen. So Oculus is well aware of what VR YouTubers are talking about, and YouTubers have been talking about this for a while. They have been saying that the Oculus Quest was going to be one of the most sought after items for Christmas, and analysts were saying this as well. So Oculus had to know that this was coming. So how they let this happen is beyond me. How they did not get something in place is beyond me. And to me, at the rate that things are going at right now, by the time that supply catches up with demand, the storm might be on its way. We might start seeing announcements of other standalone headsets that's on this way, and this could be the start of it right here, because this headset is supposed to launch this year. Let me see here. DJ, one of my friends gave it a bad report. He said after 15 minutes, the Quest was really uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie about that. It does put a little bit of pressure on your face. I've gotten used to it. At some point, I will do the Franken Quest thing, and get the necessary things I need to make it comfortable. So I'm sold on the Quest, and I'm the last person that thought would be sold on the Quest. Um, I feel like PC VR is still my number one source of entertainment, but when it comes to convenience, there's nothing beats the Quest. And Gamertag says, right now, DJ, if you purchase one and didn't like it, you can sell it for more currently. Yeah, you could put it out there on eBay and crack somebody's head open with it, and demand $800 for it. I mean, I could do that, but I won't. Even if when my son gave the Quest back to me and said sell it, so I can get him a Rift S, something in my gut would just not let me sell it. I couldn't do it because, like, deep down inside, I believe that as the games got better and as the graphics got better, because that happens every time a new product launches. Take the Xbox and the PlayStation. These consoles launch, and when they launch the launch games, some of them are ports from the previous generation. But as the year goes on, as years go by, the games get better and better. They look better. They perform better. And I figure it was going to be the same with the Oculus Quest. Over the coming years, I figure the games would look better. They would perform better. And when that moment happens, I didn't want to be in a situation where these things are sold out and I got to go through hell to get another one. And it turns out, in my opinion, I think I made the right move in keeping it. And then in terms of these games looking better, I think Red Matter was the breakthrough moment for the Oculus Quest. When I saw, videos of what that game looked like, I said, holy shit, because, Poker Stars left a bad first impression because that game does not look that good. But I love Poker Stars that much that I can get past the graphics. And the convenience of it, of just being able to wake up out of bed, put that headset on, jump in, and gamble a couple of $1,000s. I love it. Let me see. What do we got here? DJ, you said that I could technically get a Quest this month, but would leave me short on funds. I understand that totally. That's the situation with my car when I bought that car earlier this year. I could have outright bought the car, but it would have left me, it would have left me damn near broke. So, let me see, DJ. I think I keep thinking if I'm going to jump to PC VR side, I should go the whole hog and get a full setup. I can understand that. Now, that's because I have to be honest. That's not a situation where I would try to tell you to get the Quest. I would recommend you get the Rift S, because if you want the full setup and you want the full experience, then I would definitely recommend the Quest. I have not tried this link cable, but I'm taking people at their word that the Rift S still looks better than the link cable. So because of that, I would recommend the Rift S. Not only that, the Rift S is much, much more comfortable than the Quest. So if you want to go the PC side, hell, go for it. I'd say go for it. And the VR community embraces you with open arms. So, and you're talking to Gamertag where you said, I think we need a proper talk about this sometime, GT. Yes, PC VR opens up another world. I said that before, Mick. PlayStation VR, I said before, PlayStation VR is like a planet. When you bring PC VR into the mix, it's an entire solar system. That's how much the world expands when you add PC VR to the mix. It's huge. So let me finish up with this article, and then I'll talk about one of the things that I think I had read about as far as what the next gen of VR, what some of the things that it can do. So Peco will ship the Neo 2 headset starting later in 2020. The Neo 2 standard will sell for $699. Impressive, given that the original Peco Neo had a price tag of $749, and the Neo 2i will sell for $899, just as last year's Tobii-powered HTC Vive Pro I sold at a $200 premium over the standard Vive Pro. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of that article, because the last paragraph I really don't need to read it because Peco, I guess, reached out journalists to update them, because I guess this headset was originally it was originally stated that it was going to be 90 hertz, but it's 75 hertz in standalone mode. Cold Yogurt, you're still talking to Gamertag, but I'll read it anyway. Lord Necton had a bad day. Guy was working 9 days straight. Chad answered his question. He just went off on that when he just addressed his question, opened it to the chat. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully he'll come back next week, and hopefully he'll understand that as the VR link continues to grow, it gets a little difficult to catch every single comment, especially at the rate that these comments are starting to come in. I mean, they are like this. So on behalf of the VR link to Lord Necton, we apologize, and like we said, we hope he will return next week. But I will say this: when I have a bad day, it's virtual reality, as well as YouTubers, that makes me forget about that bad day. I have I don't really have bad days at work, because I don't piss and moan the way the people that I work with. I don't piss and moan like them. They piss and moan is like, my thinking is, if you don't like it, get another job. I ain't saying you gotta love it, but if you dislike it to the point where you pissing and moaning about it every single day, get another job where you won't be so miserable. In my situation, I'm fine where I'm at. The job has provided me with an hourly rate that allows me to have the toys that I want, because I think with men and toys, men don't run out and buy handbags and shoes and all that kind of shit. I think with men, especially with flat screen gaming, they just want their man cave. They want a nice, good size HD TV, a sound bar, and their console of choice, whatever they're gonna play it on. VR is a totally different story, because if you're passionate about VR, you're probably not worried about an HD TV, and you're not worried about a sound bar. And unless it's a PlayStation, you're not worried about a console either. I mean, PC VR, to me, it gives you that immersion. And when you're wearing earbuds, the surround sound gives you that stereo quality that you're looking for. And it's definitely something that takes the edge off of a great day. I have never, ever put on a VR headset and be like, man, I don't feel like playing this shit today. I've never. I put that headset on and forget about everything. If it's a day that that I'm not really feeling like playing VR, then I watch YouTube. And I watch the VR content creators. I watch the gamer tags. I watch the 7 Degrees of Gaming, the Salsa Ketchups. And various other YouTubers. So short story long, that's how I deal with a bad day. Virtual reality, YouTube. I still work out, but I'm not as passionate about working out as I used to be. When I was bigger, I lived at the gym. You couldn't get me to do anything else. The situation now with me struggling to maintain my weight because of the diet that I had to switch over to, I'm in a situation where I'm working out just to remain healthy. So, I mean, I still have an athletic build, but I'm not as big as I was a few years ago. But I still do enjoy working out. I just do it from home, because with me working 10-hour shifts and me being damn near dead when I get out of work, dead tired, it's hard to get up and travel 5 miles to go to a gym and be in there for 3 hours. And then when I get back home, I got to cook, and do all my other chores, laundries and stuff like that, and go straight to bed. It doesn't leave me time. So, in the case of VR, with games like Beat Saber, you're killing two birds with one stone. I love it. It gives me the passion of VR that I love to do, and it's a great workout. So, um, you said cold yogurt. Yeah, the VR link show is for entertainment, not a Q&A, but people just want attention. Mick, thanks for dropping by. You said later, guys. Food on the table. Enjoy your meal, sir. Um, so yeah, I mean, the situation that I'm in right now, cardio is probably a little bit more than lifting heavy. I got enough weights here that gives me a decent workout in terms of lifting heavy weight. But right now, cardio is a little more important because I got to keep that blood thin. I got to keep that blood flowing. Um, and honestly, getting out of work after a 10-hour work day and then going to the gym and walking on a treadmill, it is boring and it is time consuming. Um, I think the treadmill that I was on one time, I was monitoring my calories. I walked on this treadmill for about an hour. And I think over that hour, I burned 45 calories. But yet, if I still ate like that, but yet, one double cheeseburger from McDonald's is about 400 calories. So if you're a person that walks on a treadmill every single day and you're trying to lose weight, to me, a treadmill is just like almost pointless. No, get in there, play some Beat Saber, especially when you play it on expert. That's going to get that blood flowing. That's going to get that heart rate up. It's going to burn a shit ton of calories. Beat Saber, um, Pistol Whip, and there's some other games out there for you. But for burning calories, to me, there's nothing better than VR. You're having fun and you're getting a great workout at the same time. There's nothing better than VR when it comes to cardio. But coming back to this Peco Neo thing, I have read an article. I've said this before that even if VR doesn't hit the mainstream, it's never going away because VR is always at the forefront of these electronic shows when they want to demonstrate the advancement of electronics. And VR is always at the forefront when it comes to technological advancements. And I think I had read an article about AR glasses. We are on the cusp of AR glasses where like a repairman that goes on site to repair something, he can put on his AR glasses and receive information from a dispatcher and get like a 3D layout of the area that he's trying to repair, so he knows exactly where to go. He knows exactly how to locate the problem and address it. And then not only that, he can receive virtual reality instructions from the dispatcher about the best way to approach and repair the faulty area. So, Jemiah Dixon, what's up? So, the advancement of VR, this shit is moving at a blinding pace. So even if VR does hit the mainstream and we have a situation where 3 years from now, somebody says, oh, Super Hot's a great game, we're going to be the ones like, man, where the hell you been? We've been playing that shit 4 years ago. DJ, you said, I expect VR to be massive in the workplace for training and education over the next few years. Yeah, not only that, for medical purposes, I think I've read articles where, surgeons are using VR to train for surgical procedures. Jemiah Dixon, you said imagine for advanced Google Glass would have been by now if people didn't act dumb as fuck or cry about being recorded. I don't really know anything about Google Glass, so I can't really speak of the potential of it because I've never experienced it. So, um, in Cold Yogurt, you said Roaring Twenties of VR oncoming. Yeah. So I guess 2020 is going to be a huge year for VR in more ways than one. Not just because of the games that we got, from the games aspect, we've got great games on the way this year, and a lot of these games are going to take VR to the next level in terms of I think fidelity, gameplay, and in immersion, and in interaction, and and I think Half-Life Alyx is going to set the tone for all of this stuff that we're talking about. A great looking game that looks highly interactive, that looks like it's probably going to have some great mechanics. You said Google Glass was the first AR glasses? Yeah, I've talked about this before, Jemiah Dixon, that I still hold on to my belief that AR glasses are going to replace the smartphone as we know it. I think King Thrash was on to something when he said that when Microsoft and Sony was working on a project together, he speculated that they might be working on a phone together. I took it a step further and said, hell, they might be working on some AR glasses, which I would call smart glasses. There's basically AR glasses and a smartphone in one, or you could probably make holographic phone calls. And, if somebody else has a pair of AR glasses and you call them, you have their holographic image standing right in front of you as if they standing there right in front of you. I think this is going to be the future of AR. People was like looking at me like I was crazy, but we're moving closer and closer in that direction as more and more articles pop out about the advancement of augmented reality. And I think we're going to have a situation like, I think the impact that AR is going to have on social media, like Facebook and that kind of shit, where people have AR glasses and let's say you have AR glasses and you click on a person's page, you could probably see like a holographic video that they uploaded where you're up there actually right next to their holographic image. Or or you might have a situation on Facebook where somebody can open up a holographic chat room and everybody's holograms in there walking around mingling and shit like that. So I think the future is going to be crazy with these AR glasses. Say I'm smoking crack if you want, but we headed there. I think AR glasses are going to replace the smartphone as we know it. You're going to have all the features, all the new technology of AR along with these things being smart glasses as well. They're going to be able to do everything a smartphone can currently do, along with all the AR capabilities. So, what is good, Big Cloud? What is going on, my guy? And Christopher Hart, what's going on, my guy? You said I got a mixed reality AR VR headset this holiday season that I really want to dive into as soon as I get a good gaming PC. So, after what happened to me, Christopher Hart, whatever you get. Well, I've been streaming. I think I finally realized now that the 3 computers that I killed, I think I killed them because I put a heavy load on those computers by streaming and gaming from the same PC. And that Alienware that I had a i5 in it, and through a bunch of videos, I'm learning that you need a PC that has at least an i7 in it. And Salsa Ketchup said even with an i7, you're still putting a lot of strain on that computer. So when I get my PC back, I'm probably going to use that NDI plugin for OBS, where you can connect, your 2 computers, because I have this computer and I have my gaming computer. This is what I should have been doing from the start, was, streaming, using this computer to stream my games, so I don't put that extra load on my gaming PC. So I understand that this NDI plugin, there's a compromise there, there's a downgrade in quality. It is what it is, but since I'll be kind of using these game streams for educational, not for information purposes, of trying to show you a new game, then that's no big deal, So, Christopher Hart, you said no X-ray vision apps yet, but that's most likely coming. Yeah, and with the X-ray apps, also new laws are going to be coming too, because women going to be screaming. Even though women gonna be wearing virtually nothing under their dresses and shit, you're gonna have a bunch of them screaming that some dude undressed them with their eyes and they was violated, and you're gonna find yourself in court virtual assault, for virtual sexual assault, for using this X-ray app to check out a woman, to look at a woman's body, so the government definitely going to cash in on some shit like that if it happened, because I think the sex industry is the easiest industry, in my opinion, to tax. So, Christopher Hart, damn. So without i7, your PC will crash. Good to know. So, yep, definitely have to protect that X-ray app somehow. No, to me, it's not about protection. It's about the government finding a way to monetize it. So they'll probably implement laws. So who knows? But for the computer aspect, see, well, the verdict is still out on my son, because I basically bought my son a starter PC. It's an iBuyPower PC. It has a GTX 1660. It has the processor is a i5 9400, I believe, or 8700. And 1 terabyte hard drive with, I think, a 240 gig SSD. And I just, with 8 gigs of RAM. So for Christmas, I put an extra 8 gigs of RAM in his PC. He's got 16 gigs of RAM now, because I wanted to make sure that he was able to meet the minimum specs for the Half-Life Alyx that's going to be coming out in a couple of months. He has had no problems. And even though this is a starter PC, he's reaching 4K 60 on some of these games. I think when Gears 5 came out, a lot of people were having a problem getting over 60 frames with Gears 5 when they did that little, like, Gears 5 beta, whatever that little piece of thing was. I think I saw Hard 8 do a benchmark, and he was getting like 58 frames per second with an i9. I was getting like 48 frames per second with an i5 94 or 9700, and I think my son was getting 4K, like 40 frames per second. So I think, in the beginning, when I killed those first two PCs, those CyberPower PCs, I don't really know shit about PCs like that. So when, people like Fatal Charade jumped up and was like, CyberPower's a junk, don't buy that shit, build your own PC, all that kind of stuff, I took him at his word. And but after I killed that Alienware computer, I came to the conclusion, this is the third PC that I killed. I was like, something that I'm doing must be killing these PCs. And then when I did the research and was wanted to learn how to use my second PC as a streaming PC so I can take the pressure off the gaming PC, that's when I learned that if you have anything below an i7, you are putting, and you're trying to stream and game from the same PC, you are putting a very heavy load on that PC. With that being said, I can't speak for the durability of what kind of PC you might end up with, Christopher Hart, but unless you plan to stream from that computer, I'd like to think you'll be okay. He said, all I need is an entry gaming PC for VR. I'm not streaming anything yet. So the PC that I bought my son, it normally sold for $850. It is I bought it for $700 on sale, but I think $700 is the permanent price. So, for a 13-year-old kid, I think it's a good start. He doesn't need something, he doesn't need some kind of NASA computer that's on the space shuttle or shit like that. So, you said I need that X-ray app in my life. Yep, and invite some of your female friends over and have at it. I hate to say it, but if you got a lot of female friends and some of them come over, you ain't going to need that X-ray app anyway, because you're going to be going at it after a few minutes anyway. I'd say the X-ray app is for the chicks that you'll never have. that you'll never get. But I don't think I got a lot left to talk about, so I'm going to take a quick look at Road to VR and upload VR and see what we got. Thank you, Jemiah Dixon, for tweeting out my stream. I appreciate that. Much love to you, my guy. And then I will get ready to call Best Buy and see what they're talking about. Da, da, da. So, if the part is in stock and they do repair it, if they get it done today and get it out tomorrow, I could probably get it back by the end of the week. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Swing around like Spider-Man on Quest in a free web VR app. Uh-oh. Let me read up on this real quick. Because I think I saw somebody like advertising talking about this on YouTube yesterday, but I don't know if it's out yet, so I didn't really pay attention to it. A new web VR experience developed by UTalk on Reddit allows users to swing around buildings using web shooters just like Spider-Man. The experience is open source and it runs through web VR. It therefore works with any web VR supported headsets, notably including the Oculus Quest, and is available for free. To try out the experience, you just need to open the Oculus browser on your Quest or browser on any other VR headset that supports web VR experiences, and navigate to Spider-Man webvr.link in the browser. The page will load a welcome screen explaining the controls. When you're ready, you can press the VR button in the bottom of the right to launch the experience in full screen VR. Various Spider-Man soundtracks and songs will play in the background as you swing around the buildings. You can use your triggers to shoot webs and grip buttons to make sharper turns. And for more advanced users, the thumbsticks will be used to control how tight the webs are affecting your velocity. You can view some footage of the app below. However, we experienced audio issues while recording, so none of the sound effects or music are audible in the video. Huh. Okay, see, that takes us back. See, that's another thing of explaining about how far VR is going. How far VR is advancing, because you got so many people, individual people, adding mods or creating VR experience. They're adding mods to AAA games or creating VR experiences, because I've said that before a million times. Somebody put a mod out there for Grand Theft Auto that lets you play GTA 5 in VR. We've got Alien Isolation in VR, and the guy that modded that is working on a mod for Halo Reach, which you'll be able to use both the touch controllers. I think we've got a Doom 3. I think we got Doom 3. Somebody did a mod for that. There was also one of the Star Wars games. Somebody modded that where in VR, where you headed out to basically your X-wing squadron that's headed out to destroy the Death Star, just like in the movie. So there's a lot of people doing a lot of individual mods with some of these VR games, AAA games, and making VR mods out of them. So that's another thing that speaks to the growth of VR and the technological advancement of VR, where individual people, everyday people, are jumping in and modding some of our favorite games. So, and Cold Yogurt, you said, I got to backtrack a little bit. You said, right there, you said it right there, Christopher. They are promoting the hell out of the Quest right now. And I did a video right now, kind of criticizing Sony a little bit, because they did not really promote the PlayStation VR. If any of you guys watch, VR videos on YouTube, you guys know that just about every second or third ad that you see on YouTube is usually some kind of Oculus ad. Usually that Oculus ad where somebody's playing Beat Saber with the Oculus Quest. Yes, Oculus is promoting this shit out of the Quest, and I think had Sony promoted the PlayStation VR more, they would have been over 5 million headsets sold by now. Hell, maybe they would have been able to hit 6, which is a stretch. I realize that, but to me, Sony, I think, did a subpar job of promoting and marketing the PlayStation VR. Once the PS5 hits, and I hope Sony will do a better job of keeping the word out that the current PSVR headset will work on the PS5. Otherwise, I think that could have implications for the PSVR 2 when that headset comes out. That could get them off to a slow start if Sony doesn't promote it and get word out about the current situation. So yeah, I think Oculus, in my opinion, has done a phenomenal job of marketing the Quest. You know, not only do I see their ads on YouTube all the time, I've even seen them on TV a couple of times, you know, like during football games and that kind of stuff. So, Christopher Hart, you said it sounds like the advertising team on the Quest is more excited about it than any other headset on the market, rivaling the PSVR. So, yeah, but the fucked up part about the Oculus situation is they are marketing the shit out of the headset, but you go try to get one and you can't get one. They're sold out. And I think for possible new customers, that could be enough to put them off. Hey, I've been thinking about getting a VR headset, and then they go to jump up and drive in the car and go to Walmart or Best Buy, and then find out they don't have any, and then they tell you that we won't be getting any in for about a month. But if you want, we can take your pre-order. Some of them might say yeah, but somebody like me who can be an impulse buyer, I'll be like, no, I'll catch y'all later, and walk out the door. So, and Cole Yoga, you said Oculus is more fluid. Sony is locked. It is 1 o'clock. I guess at some point here, start getting to my chores and other things that I need to tie up. And first order of business when I get off this podcast is to contact Best Buy in regards to my PC and see what they got to say. So let me take a quick. What is the driving forces of the Quest? Is that it's playable right out of the box. No need for PC. That's the biggest reason. Here it is, right here. Paradise Decay. X-Wing Simulator. Hold on.
Okay, this is Yavin. Wow, look at that. That's massive.
Yeah, he's in the X-Wing fighter flying with a squadron, and they're on their way to the Death Star.
There's R2.
So let me check his description and see if he's linked to the free download here. Grab it while you can.
Okay, click the thumbsticks for tap position.
Okay. But unfortunately, he's doing it on the Rift S, so unfortunately I won't be able to grab it since I don't have a PC to grab it. Hopefully it'll be there when I get my PC back. You said, however, the Quest is not the most powerful VR headset. Then again, neither is the PSVR. Excuse me. In my opinion, all I care about is clarity. True. Now, don't get me wrong. I do want photorealistic games, but at the same time, I want them to be clear. Because what difference does it make if the graphics are incredible, but the game is blurry as fuck? Case in point, Drive Club. The graphics are pretty good on Drive Club VR. But that blur is just like, to me, it's annoying. So let me come back to upload VR real quick, see if there's anything else on there worth talking about, and then get ready to boogie on out of here. let me see. It says and this looks like an opinionated piece where it says, "Will Sony support VR? Everything we know about virtual reality on Sony's next console." I mean, get started with Oculus Quest tips. The Remedy is a free Oculus Quest short with blistering action. Quick review. Oh, okay. So that's Upload VR. Let's see what we got at Roll to VR. Because a lot of them usually have the same articles because both of them are usually on top of it. With new headsets and big games in 2019, VR is poised for an even better 2020. Yeah, true. Masterpiece VR launches Studio Suite for sculpturing and animating models in VR. Microsoft's VR Maker tools share point spaces to launch. Stormland now works on Index, Vive, Windows VR, and more thanks to Vive. And then we had a situation with this Feel Real VR sit mask, hence roadblock amidst crackdown on flavored vaping products. Now, I guess there's this mask that you would attach to the bottom of your VR headset magnetically. And what it does is when you play games in VR, whatever environment that you enter in VR, this face mask will, blow that smell, basically, put out that smell. And I guess they were getting ready to launch it, but I guess they're, catching a little bit of heat from the government. I don't know if it's the FTC in particular. I think this is from the Food and Drug Administration, so I guess that's who they're catching heat from. So because of the way this thing operates, I think they're classifying this as a vaping product, and so they hit a little bit of a roadblock advertising this thing. But it's a neat device, but I don't plan on getting it because with the bottom mask covering your whole face, you look like Kylo Ren. So, great tantrum. What's going on? How are you doing? You caught the tail end of this. I'm getting ready to wrap this up here because I want to hurry up and see what that Best Buy has to say about my PC. Because it needs a part, it needs to be repaired. They said it's in stock, and I am curious to see what that part is. If they, because I got the funny feeling they're going to tell me that the SSD or the CPU took a crap. So we'll see. So with that being said, as I get news about it, I'll let you guys know about it. I don't know if I'll do a whole podcast dedicated to it, but. Whatever my next podcast is, I'll definitely update you guys on what the situation is with that PC, because this has got to stop. These computers dying on me. This has got to stop. So I think I'm going to end up using this NDI plugin from OBS. And like I said, I know that the quality is going to be compromised. There's a little bit of latency as far as the streaming part of it goes, but it is free. It doesn't involve any equipment. I've been told that I can use a capture card and splitter and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not ready to spend that kind of money yet because I think the Elgato HD60, I think that's $180, and I'm not ready to spend it, at least not right now. Yeah, Peco uses the next gen Qualcomm mobile chip chipset, which I have been talking about this for a little bit because it to me, as far as YouTubers goes, Anthony of VR365 was the first person that I saw that kind of dug into this a little bit, and he was saying that because of this chipset, that more VR headsets, standalone headsets to compete with the Quest are on the way, and he said something. He said basically like up to 5 companies might be producing standalone VR headsets, and we could be seeing the first one as early as 2020. And I'm wondering if this Pico is the one, because this is a hybrid headset that is a standalone headset. And standalone is a 75 hertz refresh rate, which is a little bit better than the 72 of the Oculus Quest. I guess they originally announced it at 90 hertz refresh rate, but it also connects wirelessly through to a PC. And from the article that I read, the processor in the headset as well as the processor in your PC works together to give you optimal performance that's almost indistinguishable from a wire connection. So I'm wondering if this is the first phase of these Quest competitors that we're about to see. But this is originally, for enterprise use. But some YouTubers are going to get hold of this and try games on it to see how it works. And but I don't think they would make something like this and just limit it to businesses. I would like to think that if this thing does exactly what as advertised, they're gonna find some way to get this thing onto the gaming landscape. So in that sense, it could be an indirect threat to the Quest. So, damn, I'm getting hungry too. So yeah, I know it's time to go ahead and wrap it up now. Wireless PC VR will be a seller. Yeah. And I guess I didn't get to that part because that's another thing that speaks to how fast Fatal Charade, what's up? I think that's another thing that speaks to how fast VR is moving, because if Sony actually comes out with a PlayStation VR 2, because of how far out it is, I'm wondering, is it going to be up to par with the current technology that's going to be out at the moment? So now that even though this is for enterprise use with this Peco Neo, it's cut and dry. It is a standalone headset that becomes a PC headset wirelessly. So it begs the question, if Sony does come out with another PlayStation VR headset, PSVR 2 to be exact, will it be wireless? And, based on some of the patents that I saw, I saw a patent, a drawing that suggests that you could connect two headsets wirelessly to the same console, so you can do local multiplayer from the same headset. And so if they were to do that, so bottom line is, if I think PSVR 2, if and when that headset comes out, if it's wireless, that would be huge. That would be big. I don't think it would be enough to overtake the Quest, but I think it would get people. I think it would get more people on. I think it would get more people on board into the PlayStation VR ecosystem. So, Great Tantrum, you said if they can make a wireless for PC, that is great news. This Peco Neo is. Apparently, it is wireless for PC. It's a standalone headset, and you can connect it wirelessly to a PC. And as I said before, the processor in the headset as well as the processor in your PC work together to give you optimal performance that's almost indistinguishable from wire connections. Jim Monroe, what's going on? I'm sorry I missed you a couple of comments ago. If PSVR 2 comes wireless with good tracking, it would be serious competition for Oculus. I think it would be serious competition for the Oculus Rift if the Oculus Rift S is still supported by then. But I don't think it'll be a competitor to the Quest because the Quest is already having a huge impact on the VR industry. And then that Quest link cable is a game changer. And more updates on the way. I think I had heard that possible full body tracking could possibly come to the Quest. We already got hand tracking. I mean, this is crazy. And I mean, the advancement of VR is moving at a feverish pitch. So I mean, we already got more shit then we know what to do with VR. There's already a ton of games and a ton of apps. Um, and VR is trying to invade the social space more and more. So, a couple of years from now, it's like, to me, there's virtually nothing you won't be able to access in VR. The only problem with wireless VR is the battery life. Yeah, I mean every new product on the block, I think starts out like that, but over time, that gets better. So, um, I'm pretty sure that when Oculus comes out with a Quest 2 or Quest Pro, whatever they want to call it, I'm sure one of the things that's going to be addressed is the battery life. So, I mean, I think there's a battery out there right now that you can buy for the Quest that it also acts as a counterweight too. So, but man, I hate to shut this down because I'm really enjoying this podcast, but I really need to get going so I can start tying up some loose ends because the bigger picture is for me to hurry up and get everything done that I need to get done so I can jump on the Quest and play some Racket Fury table tennis. I won my first match yesterday, which the guy that I beat virtually didn't even know how to play the game. But nonetheless, I still got my first win. I love that game. It is truly amazing VR tennis game. So, but that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get on out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Coming up on almost 2 hours. I'm reaching that point where I'm starting to get a little bit scratchy in the voice. And like I said, I'm anxious to call Best Buy and see what they got to say about my PC. So that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I will catch you later. Deuces.